James. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Okay, can we talk about James Talarico? Because over the weekend, I got an alert about you've heard of James Talarico. He is a member of the Texas House of Representatives, and now he's running for Senate. Anyways, he's this good-looking, young 36-year-old politician who everyone loves. From Barack Obama has talked about him and that he's the future of the Democratic Party. So is Joe Rogan. So he's hot, and he's running for Senate in Texas against incumbent John Cornyn, and then the really off the wall, crazy far right Ken Paxton, who's the Attorney General of Texas. So he's running against him, and he's running in that race, and he's up against Democrat Colin Allred as well. So I got this alert over the weekend saying Faith Forward Texas Senate candidate follows porn actors escorts on Instagram. Now, at first I was like, ooh, well, this is scandalous, right? Because he is a person of faith. He talks about his identity, his Christian identity. He is, as a matter of fact, attending seminary school to get a master's in divinity. And so, he's that kind of guy. He said that his faith is forefront of his campaign, and the reason for him being a Democratic politician is because of his faith. And so Axios wrote this saying, they broke the news about Texas State Democrat running for U.S. Senate, who has put his faith in at the forefront of his campaign, follows several adult film performers, escorts, and OnlyFans models on Instagram. That's according to Axios review. Okay. So I was like, wow. And then I've interviewed James Talarico before several times. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Okay. I mean, okay. So on his social media, he follows that. Now, there's a story behind the social media. Like many people who are running, especially if you're running a campaign, you have people who run your social media sites and you hand them the keys to your passwords, to post, all of that. Okay. And that's part of this story. But also, sometimes and I know this because I'm in the same boat. I have someone who helps to run my social media. They have all of my passwords. Sometimes they post things and I say, why'd you post that? You should have asked me about that. Or we shouldn't be doing that. Or take that down. Or I don't understand the context here, whatever it is. So not every single thing that I post that's posted on my accounts are posted by me specifically. Okay. As a matter of fact, the more followers I get, the fewer things are posted by me. So James Talarico is basically saying he's in the same position. But here's the deal. This guy has become a sensation in Democratic politics for how his Christianity is the basis for his Democratic politics. Okay, it is saying that let's see who he follows. He follows 10 Instagram accounts of women who are popular porn actors, OnlyFans models, and have accounts on escort sites, according to publicly available accounts viewed by Axios in recent weeks. Earlier this year, he liked separate photos of an Austin-based Instagram account holder who also has an OnlyFans account and a page on escortbook.com. Escortbook.com is a site that claims to be the #1 content manager system in the escort industry. And then, it goes on to talk about who it follows and all of those things. The photos that, are on there don't include nudes, largely banned on Instagram and I think on Meta platforms and on most social media sites, except for X or whatever, Twitter. So when I thought about it, I'll talk about, the specifics of all of the other things in a second. When I thought about it, I was like, okay, it made me like him more because he's a human being. I don't know who's following it, if he's doing it, or people on the social media site. I would think that it's probably the people who's on his social media site. And I think what I think they're doing is what most people who are on social media do, especially if you are in the social media business, meaning you do social media, you handle social media accounts for other people who need help with their social media. You engage with the people who have the most amount of followers. Usually they go on and they look and go, this person has 150,000 followers. Okay, great. Worth responding, worth following. Click follow without really checking it out. Should they be more careful? Probably. Will they in the future? Probably. I'm sure there will be, but it made me like it more. I was like, okay. And I didn't think it was a scandal. I think anyone who's operating in this day and time and they think that this is some sort of scandal should pay also like look around and have some self-awareness about the time that we're in right now, because the Republicans especially are not playing by that rule. Donald Trump is not playing by that rule. Anyone who's in Donald Trump's orbit or cabinet not playing in that rule. Look at the people who support Donald Trump and all the people in the manosphere, how they talk, who they follow, all that, all those kinds of things. Look at what's allowed on X, on Twitter, which is Elon Musk was a member of Donald Trump's cabinet, so to speak. He ran Doge. Okay. So I just think that these people are out of touch. They think that this is going to be some big scandal. Now, here's what the spokesperson for his name is JTN is for Talarico said in a statement that the social media team, including James, follows back and engages with supporters who have large followings and does not investigate their backgrounds. That's what I just said. I didn't even know what the thing said. The Instagram accounts Talarico follows typically have at least 50,000 followers. Now, I hadn't read that. And so, same thing. So, his campaign team both use his account. He has more than 1.7 million followers, but follows only 3,700 people. Having 1.7 million followers and following 3,700 people, that's not a lot of people to follow. So it's not like, he's on there, they're on there all the time engaging with people. They're just following people who have a certain number of followers. Okay. He also follows Instagram accounts of adult film actors such as Honky Tonk Angel, who has nearly 250,000 followers and goes by the name Giselle Palmer. Some accounts with matching usernames, it says on the Instagram accounts he follows, appears on sites such as datingpornstar.com and then escortstate.com, several other content. And then he goes on, have OnlyFans accounts. James has never subscribed to OnlyFans or an escort service, says Ennis. Okay. So while James was unaware of how these women make money, Ennis said, and I think this is a really great response and good strategy on his part and his social media part, because stop shaming sex workers because someone is in OnlyFans or is doing OnlyFans and whatever. Stop it. Stop shaming sex workers. While James was unaware of how these women make money, and it said he does not judge them for it and will not play into an effort to smear them for clickbait articles. That's exactly what his Christian faith calls him to do. And they're 100% right. You should be, first of all, shaming people for sex work, but also you should not be promoting or trying to take someone down from a clickbait article. I've been the victim of clickbait articles. When you go on and you read them, you go, what is the big deal? And people believe that it's true. Especially someone will write an article saying, Don Lemon is under fire for something or because of something that he said. And then I'll read it days later after it has calmed down because I don't know. My social media team will tell me. And I'm like, under fire for what? Like, I'm not under fire for anyone. No one called me. No one has protested me. 15 people on Twitter may have felt a certain kind of way, or 5 people, and then they write about it. Such and such said this. Who cares? Everyone has an opinion about something. And so if some clickbait site like, a New York Post or a Daily Caller or the Daily Mail or something like this, some right wing or what is it, Hollywood, something, I forget what it's called. If they write that, people actually believe it. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Don, that you're in trouble for. I'm like, I'm not in trouble for anything. I'm sorry you said that thing that's controversial. I'm like, I didn't say anything controversial. Like people are walking around judging this James Talarico or judging me and others because of articles that they read that don't really mean anything, that people are not upset about. I have yet to hear a person who's upset about James Talarico or even finds it at all interesting when you actually investigate what happened that he follows. If you go through that he follows women who may be in the sex industry or can be, on sex sites or whatever. If you go through just about anybody's social media, anybody who's in the public eye, there are going to be things on their social media that you're going to go, oh, wow, I didn't, wow. So I'm sure there are people who are in the porn industry who follow me, and I may follow some people who are in the porn industry. I remember when I started on Twitter and I started on Instagram and all of these sites. The advice that the people who were running social media at the company that I worked for, which was CNN, said, follow if people follow you, you should follow them as a courtesy. That's how it was in the old days. Maybe that doesn't apply now. But to think that this is some big scandal is just outrageous to me. And I'm sure that there are people passing it around. I'm sure that some of the candidates are passing it around saying that this is a big deal. Okay, if it turns out that there is some untoward things that happen with James Talarico and these people he follows, that's a horse of another color, as my grandma or my mom would say. In launching his, and let's look at so Axios says let's zoom out. In launching his Senate campaign in September, Talarico drew parallels between the biblical story of Jesus kicking out money changers from the temple and the need for politicians to take on today's billionaire class. All right, so so you see, so he's a Christian, and because he follows these people or has maybe engaged with one or two of them with a nothing more than a thank you for your comment, that's pretty generic. That does not mean that he is really engaging and having conversations and that he has relationships with these women. Or I would imagine all of them are women. I just I find it in this day and age to think that something like this is a scandal just makes me it just confirms for me that a lot of the people who are running for office, a lot of the people who are in office, a lot of the people who are in media don't understand where we are right now. They don't get out and talk to the people. They probably don't engage on social media that much. They probably don't even know what what Instagram or TikTok or maybe even YouTube is. And if they did, this would not even be a story. They would probably click and delete it as soon as it enters their box, their inbox, or their alerts. And you have to remember really what's at stake here. Because there's one side that's playing by the rules. And that one side, that other side that one side that is not playing by the rules, excuse me. And that one side that is not playing by the rules will do anything they can to exploit a scandal or to make up a scandal on someone. They did it, they tried to do it with Mamdani in New York. And it didn't work. People were like, I don't care. He does not have to be perfect. And so if Zoran Mandami doesn't have to be perfect, and people have realized that, and all those people who are on social media and all the sites, if that propelled him into office, it might do the same thing with James Talarico. I don't believe people care. I think that you're living in a time that has gone by if you think this is a scandal or something like this. Look, you can check it out. It is on Axios. And by the way, as soon as I got the alert, I said, okay, I kind of like this dude more. He's a normal person. And then I went onto YouTube and I saw one of my friends who is a creator, Tim Miller, same headline that was in my head. This makes me like him even more. So he's a real person. Even the guy in Maine, the oyster fisherman, people had better get a clue because if we keep trying to go into people's private lives or personal lives or whatever in these kinds of ways, and also if we keep trying to find the perfect candidate, there is no perfect candidate, then there will be no one who will be worthy of office, at least on the Democratic side or on the moderate side. Republicans don't care. You can see who they have as their candidates. You can see who Donald Trump has in his cabinet, and you can see who they elected president of the United States. Someone with no morals, no scruples, no principles, doesn't care about anything but money and himself. So I don't care if a candidate is flawed, and an oyster fisherman in Maine is flawed. Let it all play out. Don't kick him out of the election or out of the campaign. Let that play out. I don't care if James Talarico is following people that may not live up to your standards on social media. I don't really care. There are more important things than that. I don't care about some statements made by someone who wants to be a candidate for mayor that were either innocuous, maybe taken out of context, or that were years old. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect, especially not the person who's in the highest office in the land now. So whoever wrote this, or whatever right-wing person, or whoever it is, organization, whatever clickbait organization it is, stop it. If you're going to have you should have the same standards that you have for all of the candidates. You should have the same standard for all of the candidates that you have for Donald Trump. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.